it's Presley at ActOutGames.com here with my mom to do Amazing Race episode something, Palermo and Malta. First I went to Palermo, Sicily, and me and my mom are going to tell you some really cool facts about Palermo.
Okay, so Palermo is in Sicily, which is an island located off of the boot of Italy. And it is famous for, they created the opera there.
And it was the birthplace of Michelangelo.
Exactly.
So Michelangelo was the first painter we studied, at least the first painter I studied. I don't remember if I missed the first week of school. But the first painter I studied at school, and we we taped paper under tables because he painted the Sistine Chapel, and so he had to paint these really detailed scenes, laying upside down, painting on the ceiling. So we were under tables, laying down, painting on paper taped to the bottom of tables. And it was pretty complicated, and I got quite a lot of paint in my hair.
That's what I was going to say, it was pretty messy.
Yeah, we got a lot of paint in our hair, and on our clothes, and in our faces. It was pretty messy because some of the paint dripped on my face, some of the paint we spilled because it's hard to lay down and not just like knock over when trying to move your hand and putting it down, just dipping your sleeve in paint or knocking over a paint thing. It took quite a while, yet it was pretty fun. Although I'm terrible with paint, so mine didn't turn out very well.
And they did this in this Amazing Race episode too. They had to paint like Michelangelo, and it was really hard. Yeah,
they had to paint upside down, but they had guidelines.
They had guidelines, but they were in really cramped corners, and it was really detailed, and they found it really, really hot. So it was really hard to do. Yeah. So Mommy and Daddy have been to
Sicily.
No, we haven't been to Sicily, but we've been to Italy. And we've been to the Vatican. So we've seen a lot of the Michelangelo paintings. And another thing that he was really famous for is sculpting. And one of his two most famous sculptures were the David, which we didn't see, and the Pieta, which we did see, is in the Vatican. And it is a world-famous Renaissance sculpture, and it depicts the body of Jesus on the lap of his mother Mary after the crucifixion. It was really beautiful, and I'm really glad that we got to see it. The Vatican in itself is amazing. It's a little overwhelming because there's so much awesome art and sculptures there. We could have spent days and days there, but we only had one day, so it was really fun. I'll put in some pictures maybe of us at the Vatican, me and Daddy, a long time ago.
So then they went to a go-kart place, and they rode down kind of a mountain with go-karts, and Nino Vaccarella gave them their next clue, who's a very, very famous Italian race car driver. In this episode, there were a lot of cab problems, and it reminded us, and when we were in Chicago, it reminded us of that, because we were in the rain, standing in the rain, hungry, tired, trying to find a cab, because it was right after a football game, and we were at the Field Museum, and they weren't letting cabs into the Field Museum and football area, and it was just chaos. But finally, someone picked us up in a cab.
Yeah, we had to walk a really long way in the rain to get to a street and we just started flagging down people, and luckily this really nice guy stopped, and because we also had to go to the airport was the other thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like we needed to get back to our hotel. We had to go to the airport. Yeah, and we had a time that we had to get there by, and then we were standing in the rain. It was pretty bad.
But it was worth it because I got to eat.
Yes, and we actually made it to the airport, had time to get some food and ice cream, and get on the plane, and just in time.
I think it was worth it to get the Ben & Jerry's. It was so good, and I want to have Ben & Jerry's and ice cream every day.
Yeah, and then Cooper had chocolate, and that started him on giving chocolate kisses to everybody. Well, I kind of felt like we were on the Amazing Race because we couldn't find a cab, and we were like wandering around.
We went on a plane.
And then we were trying to get to the airport, and I'm just standing on the street waving down cabs. Right, I felt totally like we were on the Amazing Race. And we had our luggage with us because we were on the way to the airport, so I just totally felt like we were in the Amazing Race, didn't you?
Yep. So I watched this video called The Street Food of Palermo, where there's a guy, and he went around Palermo, and he ate Italian Palermo food.
It looked good, didn't it?
some of it sounded not appetizing at all, but
Like
some
what?
of it sounded
What
good.
did you think didn't?
The freaking cow bone marrow thing?
Oh yeah. Okay, so they also had some arancini, I think is how you say it.
Arancini di riso for the fanciness.
Oh,
Arancini di riso, and they were little rice balls. So they're rice balls wrapped in bread, and inside of the rice balls was mozzarella cheese, ham. Yum. There's a recipe right there and I hope we get to make them.
Yes. Yeah, we can totally make.
Yes, we're gonna make one, and there will be a clip of me eating it now.
Includes Palermo, Italy, and Sicily, and now they flew to Malta, which is not really that far from Sicily. It's just an island off of Sicily. Yeah.
So the bridge bar was a task for the teams where they had to balance a tray with wine and glasses on one hand and go up some stairs, and then they had to deliver it to the Knights of Malta. And it was pretty hard. A few people got it done on their first few tries. A few people took a long time to do it.
Yeah, and if they dropped the glass, they had to sweep it up and then start over. So it was really hard for a couple of teams. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This kind of reminds me, the steps remind me of a kind of scene in Blood of Olympus where Leo is saying, "This world is kind of messed up." I don't remember if that's the exact line though. First we go to Rome to see Spanish steps, and then we go to Greece to eat Italian ice cream.
Gelato.
Yes.
Gelato. Yeah. So Mommy and Daddy have been to the Spanish Steps too. They're in Rome.
And then they went to the Blue Grotto, where they had to rappel off of a cliff into this beautiful blue grotto, and the water was really, really blue there. And then they had to swim to find their next clue. That seemed really fun. I would love to go rappelling off of the grotto and just swim around in it.
Yeah, it was really pretty. And again, Bethany was really, really good at swimming, and the other contestant said she looked like she had a propeller behind her because she just kicked really, really fast. She
is beasting at the race with her one arm.
She is. And she obviously swims a lot because she's a surfer, so she knows how to swim really fast.
Bethany is amazing.
I do too.
She's amazing, and it's amazing. She is on the race, and she is doing really well on the race. Even though one of her arms was bit off by a shark, she's still doing amazing. First of all, she's still alive, which is amazing, and she's on the race, and people have said she looks like a propeller. People have said Bethany is a beast. People are all amazed by Bethany, and some people have even said Bethany is doing better than them, even though she has one arm and they have two.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. I'm really impressed with her, and her and her husband are newlywed in love. It's really nice to see.
Yeah.
Like, he's so positive with her and stuff. He doesn't yell at her or anything. Like some of the other people that have been married for a long time, right?
Yeah, like the other people on the last season of the race, they were not dentists. They're the doctors.
Yeah.
They were doctors on the last race, and they were yelling at each other like almost the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice to see them.
Yeah, they're all newlywed and in love. I love it.
So the speed bump in this episode was to paint the Maltese cross on a shield. The 8 points of the Maltese cross represent the 8 obligations of the St. John Knights.
The 8 obligations are to live in truth, to have faith, to repent one's sins, to give proof of humility, to love justice, to be merciful, to be sincere and wholehearted, and to endure persecution. So I just drew the Maltese cross, and right now you should be seeing a fast motion of me drawing the Maltese cross, and it's not close enough at all. It doesn't look at all like the Maltese cross. Hey, close enough. So the next detour was to choose between flag and shine.
And there's no information. You had to go to the place to get information. And a couple of the teams skipped the clue box where they say choose flag or shine. And they just kind of followed the other teams. But then they realized, wait, is this a detour? Because people were saying, oh, we should have gone to shine. And they're like, wait, this is a detour? We better go to the clue box. And they looked at the clue and it was different than the other people's. So 2 of the people, the dentists and Tim and TJ, had to go look for the for the clue box because they didn't try and find
And
it.
that got them a little behind. And then talk about what they had to do for flag. It was really hard.
And what they had to do for flag was really hard. Is they had to run up a grease pole and grab one person had to grab a yellow flag and the other person had to grab a red flag at the very end of the pole. And the yellow flag was at the kind of beginning of the greased part of the pole. And that reminds me of on Indonesia's Independence Day, they had to climb up grease poles for prizes. And I learned that on Weird But True for one of my National Geographic Kids magazines. I love those magazines. They're amazing. They have really cool stories about, like, one of them has cougars in the Tetons, which I have seen the Tetons before. And another one has a story, they have amazing stories. They have really cool stuff at the end of the book. And I really love those magazines. If you haven't heard of them before, buy one. They're so cool.
The National Geographic Kids
Yes.
magazine. Yeah,
National
she
Geographic
gets it once a month, and you really love that.
Yes.
And look, you learned about the Indonesian
Independence Day from Weird But True sections. Weird But True.
Heard of that before.
Yes, the Weird But True section is just some weird facts that are true. Pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, and then talk about Shine. What did they have to do for Shine?
So for Shine, they had to polish each other's armor. So they were wearing some knight's armor, and they had to polish each other's armor. And once they were shiny enough, then they would get their next clue.
And it was really hard.
Yeah, both of them are really, really hard.
Yeah, and the dentists though did really good because they are
Clean
used
teeth.
to polishing teeth, and so like they went in aggressively at first, and then lighter, and then kind of really gently to polish it up, and so they went through it way faster than the other people.
They're dentists.
Yes.
I'm not a dentist. And then there's a Maltese Falcon at the pit stop. We watched a few videos about Maltese Falcons. And we watched this one video with the guy from the MythBusters. And he talks about how he likes recreating props. And he recreated a full Dodo skeleton with some Sculpey. As well as he recreated the Maltese Falcon from the movie. So it looked almost exactly like the prop.
Yeah, and he was really obsessed with getting it exactly perfect.
I know.
It was pretty crazy.
He was just like, gasp! It's shorter than it's supposed to be by 0.3 inches.
Right, so he, in the process of making the sculpture from the Sculpey to his bronze, that was the final one, it shrunk by just a tad, and he was freaking out because it wasn't exactly the same.
Both of these episodes were near Italy, so my mom knows a lot about these traditions because she's been to Italy with my dad before. So she hasn't been to Malta or Sicily or any of those places before, but she has been to Rome and some other places. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!